woke up and started hunting me in FNAF Secret of the Mimic. Oh boy. Okay, so we're trapped down here in this, like, sewer thing, and we have to take this glowy baby star or something and put it in here. And then there's a whole separate area we can go to. Honestly, it's all super duper confusing. It's been a little bit since I've played this game now, but I don't know. This was definitely something that I missed in my first couple of playthroughs that I've done of it, so I'm really intrigued to see what's all happening now. Hey, is anybody up there? I'm stuck down here. Oh, wait. What did that say? This is interesting. I'm stuck down here. The elevator isn't working, and I'm getting really hungry. Is anyone getting this message? It's from the night shift. Really, really interesting. So, I wonder if the monster thing that's down here is the night guard. I've seen a lot of different theories and stuff surrounding what exactly is going on down here, which I think is really, really interesting. Basically, this is like a spin-off area from the moment where you're trying to get away from Tiger Rock, which is, like, honestly, arguably, I think one of the scariest and, like, most aggravating parts of the entire, like, base game. But I thought it was really, really cool that they kind of had lore and everything surrounding what was going on down here. It kind of makes it seem as though David, the kid of Edwin Murray, is maybe buried down here, and or there's just some sort of possession going on of the Tiger Rock suit, which I honestly really, really love, because I feel like we haven't gotten possession or any sort of, like, ghost or poltergeist or any sort of crazy entity like that in a Five Nights at Freddy's game in a really, really long time. But there's also this theory that this man down here who was in that log is actually basically this moon monster thing that's down here. And I don't know what exactly the theory completely is. I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit lost, but basically people are saying that it's most likely that man, and he's possessing this costume, and he's kind of down here to guard the grave of David, who is buried down here, because his whole entire thing is that he sings lullabies to kind of just the world while he's down here. There's not really anything else that he does. There's not really any other lore or anything that we get about this moon. We don't get any, like, technically really any lore about the person who was in the night shift that was hungry. Again, a lot of this is kind of just speculation or fan analysis. Truly, there's so many different things that it could be. I don't know, I'm kind of on board with that theory, though, because I think it's honestly really, really fun. Because, again, like I said, we haven't gotten any sort of, like, demonic possession or... Oh, gosh. Oh, goodness. Okay, he got really close there. There hasn't been any sort of, like, demonic possession or ghosts or anything like that in a FNAF game in a while, so I just think it's fun. The last time I can really remember it was Golden Freddy. Technically, like, obviously there's been some, like, weird stuff in the games here and there, but I don't know, I just think it's kind of a fun thing. I also just think, in terms of a FNAF game, I think this honestly had one of the coolest storylines going on. I think it had one of the best through lines of an entire game. I think all of the different endings actually felt like they gave insight to the bigger overarching story that was happening. I just feel like there's been a lot of FNAF games in the past that kind of lacked a little bit in clarity or direction. So I think that with there being so much lore and so much kind of retconning in this, I actually think it helped a lot, because it kind of gives you some insight to older things that you might not have gotten answers to a long time ago. I'm also really excited because one of my favorite games from Five Nights at Freddy's is Security Breach, and that makes sense. It's just because I'm a much bigger fan of these sorts of games. Like, I love Secret of the Mimic because of the game style. I think Steel Wool did a fantastic job with this game, but Security Breach is one of my favorite ones. Oh, there he is. He's doing the lullaby. But I really like the 3D art style of it, and I like the more, like, roaming around the world style than the original FNAF games, personally. They're just, these kinds of things are a lot more my style. Oh gosh, he's gonna get killed. Ah! That was so spooky. Oh my goodness. Game over. Now we gotta continue. But yeah, one of my favorite FNAF games is FNAF Security Breach, and they give so much more insight and I think direction to those games as well. It's also really interesting. Something that I was just not expecting to see was earlier iterations of the characters from Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, because I had always assumed, just with it kind of being like an 80s style, like retro mall, I don't know, but it was also very futuristic. I just assumed that, like all the other FNAF games, they kind of were taking characters from the past and making new ones. But it's really interesting because if you think about it, technically, this game, FNAF Secret of the Mimic, is, timeline-wise at least, I believe it takes place in 1979, and I think the first Five Nights at Freddy's game takes place in 1980, or sometime around there at least, which would make this the first in the official timeline. I think it's really interesting that we had characters in here like the original Roxanne Wolf. That was really, really cool. It had like a different iteration of her. Obviously, she was still very, very similar. She was just kind of more of like a cowgirl with a Roxy hat, like Roxy Rodeo instead of Roxy Raceway. So I thought that was a really, really fun thing. Uh-oh, there he comes again. Obviously, from this right here, we have a very early iteration of Moon from Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. It is interesting. He actually looks... Oh. He's singing. I think he looks a lot like... Ah! Oh my gosh, he's so scary. He looks so much like Moon from Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. And, I don't know, he kind of just has like a bigger head. And I actually think this one, as scary as they tried to make Moon in Security Breach, I think this version of Moon is a lot scarier. I think it's the voice and kind of just the overall look, to be honest. There's something really unsettling about this one, and I think that's just kind of the main thing. I think it's because he doesn't really say anything, and he doesn't seem super sentient, besides the fact that he's kind of wandering down here in this, like, prison sewer thing, singing lullabies, but it doesn't even necessarily feel like he's doing it on purpose. It kind of feels like he's doing it against his will, if that makes sense. I don't know. I think I also just personally have a very big fear of old school style things. Like, there's a lot of audios and stuff on TikTok, honestly, that scare me a lot more than, like, horror games. And it's not even necessarily, like, an innate fear. Oh, he's right there. Oh, he's so spooky. Absolutely not. I think it's more like a nostalgic sort of fear. I don't know. Does that make sense? I think nostalgia fear is such a powerful thing. I think things like this that have, like, the really old school voice is just really, really spooky, and I think it always will be. And I think just the fact that this game takes place earlier on in Five Nights at Freddy's lore, ew, he's so creepy. I just don't like him at all. Ew, his voice. Yeah. I think there is just something deeply, deeply unsettling about the voice of this character. And I think that specifically is really what does it for me. Also, so I'm assuming this entire thing, basically what we're doing is we have to... Oh, he's telling me to shush. Oh my goodness, that's so creepy. I don't like that. Excuse me, sir, I'm trying to commentate. But I'm assuming basically what's happening is we're putting this little star baby into the thingies like this that connect to the red wires. and then we need to follow the red wires. So funny enough, I feel like this is also really, really similar to FNAF Security Breach, where basically you're just trying to get the different, like, follow the generators and turn them on. Like, that's exactly what you did in the daycare in Security Breach. So I think it's really interesting that it's kind of the same thing again that you have to do. Okay, we're only missing one. This isn't too bad, honestly. I also really, really like, actually, that it auto-saves after every single time you get one. A lot of the older FNAF games, honestly, even in FNAF Security Breach, after you get to, like, the option where you get to leave or stay, you really, I don't think, maybe they hotfixed it or something, but in the original version of the game, you weren't allowed to save at that point, and, like, I could not even imagine that. Like, that was crazy to me that people actually played that. I gave up at that point because I was not good enough at the game to do it. And I think either there were mods that let you save, or there was like a glitch or something. I ended up being able to do it anyways, but yeah, I was honestly really truly just not the biggest fan of not being able to save the game. I just thought that was really, really aggravating. So yeah, that was one of my biggest gripes with the game originally, but I really like it now that I actually found a workaround to be able to save. Also, what is this giant thing in the middle here? Oh my gosh, she's talking and being all creepy. Okay, we gotta do these puzzles. We're doing them. We gotta turn everything. Easy peasy. Turn that way, and then turn that way, and then turn that one. I think like that. Yeah. And that should be perfect. All right. Release the lava. Or, oh, I think you actually have to wait for it to, like, get a little bit further. Because I guess if there's not enough lava in it, then you won't be able to actually have it overflow. So I guess in a way that does make sense. Oh, is this a door right here? I wonder if that's what opens at the end of this. Okay, here goes the puzzle. Well, this person's waiting here, so they must know. They definitely must know what happens. All right. And it's going through. Oh, it did. Ooh, and there's a secret in here. What is it? Oh, it's David's ball.